Hey guys, it's Mac from Mac and M, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a story time, and this story time is going to be about my asthma diagnosis and all the treatment and everything I've gone through since having asthma. So we recently just uploaded our first podcast, the first part of it. I think the second part is also uploaded now, so I'll link that in the description, both episodes. But basically, I talk about my experience with my previous school, and this particular part one, was about the time I had asthma. So if you want to check that out, and hopefully this video will help give a little bit better of an understanding why I was so worried when all this went down. So yeah, if you want to see and hear about this story, then keep watching. Okay, so I'm going to go right back to the very beginning. So this was when I was 4 years old. So I'm going to start off with what I remember, and the rest of the stuff is basically what my mum told me from this. So this is like the scariest of it all. So I was 4 years old and I was really, really sick, and I was home from school. I remember I was laying in the lounge and I wasn't feeling too good. My mum was getting ready to go to the shop, and my grandparents were coming to mind me because my mum had to do some groceries and she didn't want to take me with her because I was really sick, obviously. So I just remember feeling really, really off, and my mum came to check on me and I wasn't feeling very good, and at the time the doctor actually just thought I had a chest infection, but they were wrong. But basically I just saw my mum's face. She just was in shock and like so scared and horrified, and what had happened is my face was blue, like literally, like not just like, probably about this color blue in the background, a little bit lighter, but it was like all around my mouth and like under my eyes, and basically most of my face was turning blue. And this is because I was having an asthma attack and my airways were blocked, so I couldn't breathe. Now, we didn't know I had asthma, obviously, so my mum had no clue what was going on. She was freaking out, didn't know what to do. Luckily, my grandparents arrived just at the right time and we rushed to the hospital. When I got there, they straight away took me to ICU, which is resus, and they put an oxygen mask and hooked me up to all these things to help me be able to breathe. Basically, they knew straight away what it was. They knew that it was asthma, but they just had to do some tests to make sure. But yeah, it came back and I had asthma, and it was a huge asthma attack. And I don't remember anything after getting to the hospital, but my mum told me that basically I was in the hospital for a long time. I think like a month maybe. But I was in resus the whole time, hooked up to oxygen masks and everything, and I had a nurse at my bedside 24/7. And my mum told me that once I actually almost died in my sleep. So that's really scary to think about, but I'm just grateful that I had such good doctors there to help me. Sorry, I don't want to cry. But basically, yeah, it was really, really scary. So from when I was diagnosed with asthma, my parents have always looked for the best doctors and best everything that they can do to help me, which I'm so grateful for. So I started seeing this immunologist, and I still see her to this day, and she's amazing. So when I was finally discharged from hospital, I had already talked to my immunologist and everything, and basically I have a very, very, very severe case of asthma. And so there's all these different preventers and puffers that you can use. So obviously I was given Ventolin, like every kid with asthma gets. Also nebulizer, which, if you don't know what that is, it's like a machine that you put like these little drop things in it, and it's like it breathes it in. You breathe it in. It's like gas, I guess, and it helps with the asthma. But I was also given this puffer called Flexitide. So this is like an orange puffer, and basically there's two different ones. So there's Flexitide Junior, which is for kids, and there's also just normal Flexitide, which is for just adults. And normally you're supposed to have the Flexitide Junior if you're a kid, but my asthma was so bad that I was on the adult one. And they just they knew the children's one wouldn't work for me, so I was put on the adult one, and I had to take one puff morning and night. And whenever I had an asthma attack or was feeling tight in the chest, I'd have to take 6 puffs of Ventolin every 20 minutes. So because I was 4, it was 6 puffs every 20 minutes, but now that I'm older, it's 12 puffs every 20 minutes. And so I was on Flexitide for a very, very long time. It was working great. Well, I mean, not great. Like, I still had very bad asthma episodes because, asthma, it just flares up whenever it wants. For me, my asthma tends to be the worst in the summer months because of the humidity and the air is just so thick, so it just stuffs it up a lot. But yeah, I was on the Flexitide for, God, I think until I was 10, maybe 9. And then I was constantly seeing my immunologist. I was like, I think I saw her every like 3 months. I was like a regular, very known patient. Still am. They all know me there. And they've seen me grow up since I was 4. They've seen me grow into this young woman. And so I went back to my immunologist one time, and I remember that they checked my breathing and oxygen levels. And basically, it's this thing called peak flow. So what you do, it's like this machine, and you have to breathe in, take a deep breath in, and then blow all the way out, and they just tell you to keep going until it, like, the machine makes a noise, and then you can stop. So you basically go and like as hard as you can, and it tests your breathing levels and your oxygen levels. And my oxygen levels were so bad, and breathing levels, and so they decided to give me a stronger puffer, which this one was the purple one, and it was called Seretide. And this one was so strong, like it made me cough every time I had it, but I had to take it. I had it morning and night, 1 puff, like the Flexitide, but this one was so strong that I was ordered to rinse my mouth out every time I used it, because it's very bad. And because of all the strong medications and stuff I've been on in my life, my teeth are quite sensitive and bad, which is really annoying, but you know, I'd rather have bad teeth than awful asthma. But I was on Seretide for, I think, 2 or 3 years, and I was still having bad asthma, like, constantly, but like you can't really do anything about it because the thing that sucks is, like, asthma is one of those medical issues that there's no cure for, and you just have to try and control it with the medications that there is. And so then I got changed to another puffer. This one was called Symbicort, and it was like you twisted it. It was kind of weird, but it was really strong, like stronger than the Seretide one. And I remember that I had to take that morning and night as well. One like twist or click or whatever. And that one I wasn't on for very long because they found that it wasn't really helping me, so they switched me to one called Flutiform, which is like a white one, which I'm still on to this day, and it works great. It's a very strong puffer. But basically, I've been on that now for, oh god, I think 4 years maybe. And I still see my immunologist, and I was still having really bad asthma. And I remember in year 6, I missed an entire school term of school because I had an awful asthma flare up, and I was in hospital for the entire school term, like in and out of hospital, and they couldn't do anything about it. So I was just really grateful and lucky that I went through to year 7. But year 7, as you guys heard in the podcast, wasn't very smooth sailing for me, or my entire high school experience for that matter. And so I have, I can't speak. So there's just so much to this story. And so I think it's like a year after being on Flutiform, no, 2 years I've been on Fluticform. I when I saw my immunologist again, I got put on another one as well called Alvesco, which is a red one, which I'm not on anymore, and that I'll get to that later because I'm actually on another medication, which is awesome. And I was taking those two together, both one puff morning and night, and it was really helping improve my asthma. But I was at the stage of my asthma where I couldn't do anything. And one thing that's really annoying too is there's this medication called prednisone, which I'm sure you all who have asthma know about. And it's this steroid, and you're only meant to have it like 2-3 times in a year. My asthma was so awful, I was having it like 12 to 13 times in 1 year. And it's really, really bad because with prednisone, it makes you really hungry and you'll need to eat something, or you're really dizzy and lightheaded and you don't feel good. And so I was eating so much that this made me put on all this weight, and it made me really insecure, but I'm working on it. But basically, sorry. So yeah, it was really, really bad, and I got to the point now. There was this asthma trial. This happened last year. There was this asthma trial that they were doing, and they were asking their most their patients with the worst asthma to do the test and try and see if they qualify for it. So basically, my immunologist chose me as one of the people because I have severe asthma, and it got to the point where I couldn't even move. Like, I couldn't walk like 2 stairs without being out of breath and having an asthma attack, which it really eliminates what you can do in life, and it really sucked. And so I was one of the people who they chose. And unfortunately, there was this one test that was really, really hard that I couldn't pass. Like, you had to test your breathing or whatever. I couldn't pass it, so I didn't qualify for the trial, which really sucked. But they had a backup plan for me already. So I think it was like a couple of months beforehand. There had been a new drug that came out called Xolair injections. And so basically, they're just these injections that you inject just into underneath your skin, and it helps control your asthma and also a lot of other things as well, like urticaria, which I have as well, so that's a bonus, and it also helps your immune system, which is really, really great. So basically, I'm on a higher dosage, so I have one of the big ones, which is 150, no, two of the big ones, which is 150, and one of the small ones, which is 75. So the big ones are purple and the small ones are blue. So basically, I get it fortnightly. You get it either fortnightly or monthly, depending on how bad your asthma is. And mine is really bad, so I'm on it fortnightly. And it is such a miracle. But basically, how they work is like, it's not a cure for asthma. There's no cure for asthma, unfortunately, but it just helps control the symptoms. So basically, these injections are really, really sticky fluid, and when they go into your skin, it there's like a thing in your lungs that's, I guess, causes asthma, and so it's because it's sticky, it sticks to the part in your lungs that's causing you to have asthma, and it like stops it, which is really, really great. And I've been on it for over a year now, and I have noticed such a change. It's a miracle. I can move, I can exercise, I can do everything a normal kid does, and it's just amazing. And I'm finally starting to lose weight now, which is really, really good. But I'm not saying this is like a cure, because it's not. Like, I still have an acid episode here and there, but it's so much better. It's not to the extent that it used to be. Like, now I'll have an asthma attack, and it's not even an asthma attack. Like, I'll just have a little bit of trouble breathing. I'll take one puff of Ventolin and it'll be gone in like 5 minutes, which is a miracle. Like, it's never happened like that before for me, and it's just really, really great. And if anyone else out there is dealing with asthma, maybe just talk to your doctor about these injections. And I'm not saying these injections work for everyone. It just, I'm lucky enough that it works for me. Your doctor will tell you whatever is best and helps you, but maybe just talk to them about it and see what they say. But if you suffer with asthma too, like me, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not always going to be awful. it will get better. But that's basically my story. So yeah. So that was my story time of asthma, my diagnosis, my treatment, and basically everything. So I've had asthma now for, I'm 16 and I got it when I was 4. I'm bad at maths, let me just quickly figure this out. So I've had asthma for 12 years, and for 11 of those years it was awful and I couldn't do anything about it, but it's been over a year now and my asthma is so great. Yeah, so if you liked this story time, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, check out our podcast. Our podcast is 25 Enemies and Counting. So I'll link the 2 episodes that are up in the description below. And also make sure to subscribe to our main channels. Mine is Look Fabulous. I'll link that in the description. And also M's is KittyCat2307. I'll also link that down in the description box. But let us know what other videos you want to see from us. And when this quarantine and isolation is over, we'll be together filming a lot of videos for you guys. So get excited for that. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.